person standing there.
The Assembly is now in session. Assemblymember Calderon notices the absence of a quorum. The Sergeants-at-Arms will prepare the chamber and bring in the absent members, and the clerk will call the roll.
Ashajian, Alejo, Allen, Atkins, Baker, Bigelow, Bloom, Bonilla, Bonta, Bro, Brown, Burke, Calderon, Campos, Chang, Chow, Chavez, David Chu, Canson Chu, Cooley, Cooper, DeBobne, Daly, Daly, Dodd, Eggman, Frazier, Gaines, Gallagher, Christina Garcia, Eduardo Garcia, Gatto, Gibson, Gomez, Gonzalez, Gordon, Gray, Grove, Hadley, Harper, Hernandez, Holden, Irwin, Jones, Jones Sawyer, Kim, Lackey, Levine, Linder, Lopez, Lowe, Mainshine, Mathis, Mays, McCarty, Medina, Melendez, Mullen, Nazarian, Obernolte, O'Donnell, Olson, Patterson, Quirk, Riley Thomas, Rodriguez, Salas, Santiago, Steinorth, Stone, Thurman, Ting, Wagner, Waldron, Weber, Wilk, Williams, Wood. Mr. Speaker.
Members, a quorum is present. A quorum is present in the assembly. We ask our guests and visitors in the rear of the chamber and in the gallery to please stand for the prayer. We are pleased to have a guest chaplain with us in the assembly today, Rinban Bob Oshita. Reverend Oshita is the Rinban of the Buddhist Church of Sacramento, a Jodo Shinshu temple. Reverend Oshita.
Honored members of the California State Assembly, it is truly a pleasure to join with you this morning in opening our gathering today. I'd like to invite everyone to close and rest our eyes in a moment of quiet reflection. We who are living in the United States of America today and in this remarkable state of California, we live with more luxuries and conveniences than ever before, and we are among the most fortunate people who have ever lived. We are also the most well-informed, the most well-entertained, and the most well-scheduled people that have ever lived. Each day we awake to full agendas, so many places to be, things to do, and people to see. And in living such well-scheduled lives, our days often become a blur of activity. If we do not take the time to reflect on our lives and what we are doing, if we live taking for granted the time we have to be with the people we love, or the brief moment we have to pursue a dream, our lives will pass like a dream. We will find that the days have blended into weeks, the weeks have melted into months, and we will find ourselves decades older wondering, what have I done with my life? There is a way to avoid regret. It is to simply try to live each day as best we can. And if we try to live each day well, we cannot help but in time look back on a life well lived. Let us live each day well and look back in time on our lives well lived. Let us live with gratitude beyond words. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Reverend. We would ask our guests and visitors to remain standing and join us for the flag salute. Please join Assemblymember Olson as she leads us in the pledge. Miss Olson.
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Thank you. You may be seated. Reading of the previous day's journal.
Assembly Chamber, Sacramento, Tuesday, April 5th, 2016. The Assembly met at 7 a.m. The Honorable Shannon L. Grove, Assembly Member 34th District presiding. Chief Clerk E. Dodson Wilson at the desk. Reading Clerk Kathleen M. Lewis reading. The following were placed upon the morning roll call. Shaji Alejo, Allen.
Mr. Calderon moves. Mr. Mays seconds. The reading of the previous day's journal be dispensed with. Presentations of petitions, there are none. Introduction and reference of bills will be deferred. Reports of committees will be deemed read and amendments deemed adopted. Messages from the governor, there are none. Messages from the Senate, there are none. Moving to motions and resolutions, the absences for the day. For legislative business, Speaker Rendon. For personal business, Assembly Member Gonzalez. Mr. Calderon, you are recognized for your motion, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I request unanimous consent to suspend Assembly Rule 118 and allow Assembly members Breaux, Burke, Calderon, and Irwin to have guests and photographers on the floor today. Ms. Burke's guest will be at her desk for the introduction, and my guest will be at the rostrum for session.
Without objection, that request is granted.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I request unanimous consent to suspend Assembly Rule 45.5 and allow Assembly members Grove, Salas, and Thurman to speak on an adjournment in memory today.
Without objection, the request is granted.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to Assembly Rule 96, I request unanimous consent to re-refer the following bills to committee. AB 1675 Stone from the Judiciary Committee to the Appropriations Committee. AB 1840 Gibson from the Accountability Administrative Review Committee to the Rules Committee. AB 1903 Wilk from the Health Committee to the Appropriations Committee. AB 1919 Quirk from the Transportation Committee to the Local Government Committee. AB 1979 Bigelow from the Water Parks Wildlife Committee to the Rules Committee. AB 2270 Bonta from the Accountability Administrative Review Committee to the Appropriations Committee. AB 2452 Quirk from the Natural Resources Committee to the Rules Committee. AB 2546 Calderon from the Banking and Finance Committee to the Rules Committee. AB 2750 Gomez from the Higher Education Committee to the Rules Committee.
Without objection, such shall be the order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I request unanimous consent to suspend Joint Rule 62A, the file notice requirements, to allow the Accountability and Administrative Review Committee to notice and to hear AB 1887 Lowe and AB 2181 Brown on Wednesday, April 13th at 9 a.m.
Without objection, the request is granted.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And at the request of the author, please remove file item 79 ACR 121 Gomez from the consent calendar.
Without objection, that request is also granted. Members, if we could have your attention. Members, we have special guests with us in the Assembly today. Mr. Breaux, you are recognized in the rear. You have the floor for your guest introduction.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. Mission Viejo High School has a long history of football excellence. Mission Viejo has fielded one of the best football records in the country over the past 3 decades and has been nationally ranked by USA Today on numerous occasions. Last season was no exception. After winning their league championship on December 18, 2015, the Mission Viejo High School football team shut out their opponent 24-0 to win the CIF Division I AA championship right here at Hornet Stadium in Sacramento. This was their first championship, and their record last year was an impressive 16-0. Mission Viejo football is also known for their outstanding coaches. They're always known for putting together a top-notch team on the field. With me in the Assembly today is head coach Bob Johnson, their quarterback Brock Johnson, and free safety wide receiver Brett Schooler, representing Mission Viejo High School. Brock was first team All-South Coast League and was named Offensive Player of the Year. Brendan was named first team All-State, League, and County. And Coach Johnson has won an impressive 329 games as the head football coach at Mission Viejo. Please join me in congratulating the Mission Viejo High School Diablos on their CIF championship.
Members, if we can maintain your attention, members. Ms. Burke has a VIP on the floor with her today. Ms. Burke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. It is my pleasure to introduce the founder of the Los Angeles Marathon and the chair of the Southern California Air Quality Management District, my dad, Dr. William Burke. This isn't his first time on the floor. Over 50 years ago, he was one of the first minority staff members here in the building. Very proud to introduce my dad.
Mr. Gray. Members, please give your attention to Mr. Gray. He has guests with us in the gallery today.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members. Members, please join me in welcoming this afternoon students from Dos Palace High School in my district in Merced County. We're honored to have them join us in the gallery this afternoon. Again, please join me in welcoming them.
Members, we are going to move to business on the daily file. Second reading. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2458, 1891, 2291, 1947, 2566, 1661 with amendments, 1817 with amendments, 1794 with amendments, 2181 with amendments, 2223 with amendments, 1815 with amendments, 2293 with amendments, 2146 with amendments, 1964 with amendments, 2218, 1550 with amendments, 2576 with amendments, 2519, 2537, Assembly Bill 1719 with amendments, 2307 with amendments, 2592 with amendments, 1732 with amendments, 2235 with amendments, 2485 with amendments, and Assembly Bill 2024 with amendments.
All bills will be deemed read and amendments deemed adopted. In the regular session, file items 27, 32, file items 27 and 28 are passed and retained. File items 32 and 33 shall be continued. File items 34 through 36 pass and retain. Members, we are moving to file item number 37. Members, before we take up file item 37, we are going to move briefly back to guest introductions. Dr. Quirk, you have guests in the assembly who have arrived.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker and members, I have guests from Union City in my district, North Star School, and they are here today visiting the Capitol to learn about how government works. Please give them a round of applause.
Members, we are back on the file. We will now take up file item 37. That is AJR 20. The clerk will read.
Assembly Joint Resolution 20 by Assemblymember Kim and others relative to Veterans Affairs Hospitals.
Ms. Kim, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. Today, I bring forward AJR 20 requesting Congress support and build a central VA hospital in Orange County. With over 120,000 veterans, Orange County has the fourth largest veteran population in California. Last year, a report by USC known as the Orange County Veteran Study released findings enumerating a considerable number of Orange County veterans that are not receiving care for physical and psychological issues and have a high rate of mental health concerns. The closest VA hospital to Orange County that provides mental health care treatments program is in Long Beach. The other one is in San Diego, over 80 miles away. I've received calls to my office detailing the struggles of getting to Long Beach, which is a 2-hour bus drive. Public transit, especially if you're disabled, is cumbersome across county lines, not to mention time-consuming and exhausting. According to the VA Access Audit in 2014, new patients waiting for mental health appointments had to wait an average of 38 days in Long Beach. Since then, a lot of progress has been made, but veterans still have to wait over 5 days for mental health appointments, which is above the national average. The current wait in San Diego is 12 days for a mental health appointment, which is almost the triple the national average. When it comes to mental health care needs, what we don't have is time to wait. 1 in 5 post-9/11 veterans in Orange County have considered suicide, and 1 in 6 developed a suicide plan. These rates are higher than Los Angeles County, which is home to the largest number of veterans nationwide. Both Los Angeles and Orange County are in the same VA healthcare network, the VA Desert Pacific Healthcare Network, which encompasses all of Southern California and Southern Nevada, is comprised of 5 hospitals serving a staggering 1.4 million veterans. Adding an additional VA hospital to Orange County will not only serve the healthcare needs of my veterans, but it will also help take the pressure off existing facilities so all of Southern California's veterans receive the quality care and treatment they need in a timely manner. Thank you, members, for your consideration in asking Congress to consider building a VA hospital in Orange County. Consider this. Over 3/4 of our veterans said they cannot handle the challenges on their own as they transition back to civilian life. I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Ms. Kim. Seeing no debate or discussion on the item, Ms. Kim, would you like co-authors on the resolution?
I ask first roll be open for co-authors.
Thank you, Ms. Kim. The clerk will open the roll. Members, this is for co-authors. This is co-authors on AJR 20. Co-authors, members. The clerk will close the roll. There are 70 co-authors added. We will take a roll call vote on the resolution. Clerk will open the roll. All members vote who wish to vote. All members vote who desire 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 to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the vote. Ayes 70, no 0. Resolution is adopted. File item 38, pass and retain. File item 39, that's AB 2012. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 2012 by Assemblymember Bigelow and others, enact relating to jails.
Mr. Bigelow, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. Assembly Bill 2012 last week was heard on this floor with amendments. It is back today for your support. Encourage an aye vote today.
Thank you, Mr. Bigelow. Seeing no discussion or debate on the item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the vote. Ayes 73, no 0. Measure passes. File item 40, pass and retain. File item 41, AB 1867. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1867 by Assemblymember Steinorth and enact relating to evidence.
Mr. Steinorth, you may open.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, AB 1867 updates the evidence code to allow courts to use electronic copies of certified prior conviction records. Existing law allows courts to prepare these electronically, but a document must have a watermark or electronic signature. Unfortunately, this is easier said than done for our courts, which are underfunded and understaffed. Many courts don't have the technology to official watermarks or electronic signatures. This bill allows courts to simply use a scanned copy of the document. This way they can transition to a paperless system using existing resources. This is a good government efficiency bill and a critical step towards modernizing our courts. AB 1867 has no opposition, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Steinorth. Seeing no discussion or debate on this item, clerk will open the roll. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote or desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll, tally the vote. Ayes 74, no 0. Measure passes.